All right, so you've got your Facebook page set up and you're interested in diving into Facebook ads. One of the most common ways to get started with Facebook ads is the Boost Post feature. Every time you make a post, Facebook's going to remind you that you should boost the post to get more traffic to whatever you're trying to do on your website. Or let's say you're trying to get page likes or whatever your goal is, they're going to try to get you to boost your post so that you can get some engagement. Because that's great, right? So in this video, we're going to talk about why you should never boost a Facebook post, ever. And you should do this instead. So if you don't watch the rest of this video, the main takeaway is the Facebook Boost Post feature, simply put, is just a way for Facebook to line their pockets. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate this for you. So obviously, Facebook wants to make money. Obviously, they want you to make money so that they can make money off your ads. However, the Boost Post functionality is basically a way for them to siphon money from inexperienced advertisers. So what kind of people does this appeal to? This appeals to people who have basically made their first posting, and it's a way for them to make quick money. But I'm going to show you what you can do instead. So first of all, let's go in here to our Facebook, our page, and you can see here that I've got my posting that I might want to boost. So let's see what we got. So I've got 18 engagements, organically, and I want to boost it so that I can get, let's see what they offer me. Send people to your website, get more people to react, get more engagements, connect with potential customers. So these are all options. The first option is it just sends people to your website. The second option is they try to kind of aim it towards people that are more likely to comment on things based on what they know about you, because they know everything about everybody. The third option is it's going to put a chat option on the post and allow people to inquire with you about what you do. The first thing to know about this is, yeah, it's kind of a way for you to on-ramp onto the Facebook advertising platform so that you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars rather than $15 a day or whatever. The problem with this is it's not a great on-ramp because it's extremely expensive, and you're better off learning the platform instead and learning how to use the Facebook Pixel to get everybody to go to your website and to do what you want them to do, not just comment on a post. Commenting on a post means nothing if they're not coming to your store or they're not buying things on your website. So let's look at these options here. So they give you an opportunity to choose an audience. Like I could choose my state. I could choose people who like my page, which is like 100 people. I could choose people who like my page and their friends. Estimated post reach is 500 to 1,000 people per day. Okay, first thing I want you to know about this. People reached basically means nothing. It means nothing to you. As an advertiser, your metric might be different from mine. You might desire a specific action for people to do, but everybody should desire the same thing, which is profit. People reached means nothing. People who like your page means nothing. People who comment on it means nothing. Just because someone is likely to go onto a Facebook post and write something, it doesn't mean that they are likely to go to your store and buy something or whatever. And if you're spending money on any of these ads, you should be trying to get tangible results. You shouldn't just be trying to get people to randomly, to just like a post, right? So the Boost Post functionality is Facebook's way of giving you really nothing at all. And it's giving you kind of a feeling of good, like you feel good because you feel like you did something, but the results you'll get are, it's hard to put a number on it, but the results you get are nothing compared to what you would get if you targeted people, if you went into the ads manager and you learned how to use it. So first thing I want to talk about here is, what did I say you should do instead of boosting posts? What you should do is you should learn how to use the Facebook Pixel. You should learn how to track offline events if you're a brick and mortar store. You should learn how to see what results your ads are bringing. So I'm going to show you really quick here. Let's go to our ads manager. So we're going to our ads manager. Okay, if you've never been in here, it's pretty simple, but it is extremely confusing when you're just starting out. As with any of these interfaces, like let's say if you're learning WordPress, if you're learning Google Ads, any new tool, they're going to have all these menus and it's confusing. But I would say to you, if you want to use this properly, you can even take Facebook's course they have. Just take a refresher course on how to use the interface before you try to do anything. Because you need to know what all these buttons do. You need to kind of know where everything is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to hit this green create button. So if we want to create a campaign based around a post, which is not a bad idea, because if you already have a post that has existing customer engagement, it's great to build off of that. Okay. You can also start from scratch. I know you've seen this. If you've seen Facebook ads on your own personal feed, they look like posts, but they're actually ads. So it's kind of, they are posts, but they are posts that started as an ad and not as an actual post physically on your Facebook page. Whenever you start doing Facebook ads, you have to ask yourself, what is our marketing objective? And this is a really good starting point. When you get to be experienced, you can go ahead and just create without an objective and just do whatever you want. But these options here are a great way to kind of put together a metric that you're desiring to succeed at. And so this is probably the main difference between creating an ad and running a boosted post, is the fact that you can actually tell Facebook what your desired metric is, and that's the power of Facebook. Okay, so let's say we want to there's so many options here to go over, but if you just want traffic on your site, do a traffic ad, right? And traffic ads are the cheapest way to get traffic to your website. And if you want to just kind of experiment with Facebook ads, this is the easiest thing to do. Like if you have a blog post or something you want to drive traffic to, you're not going to get any profit from it initially, but it's a great way to experiment and to get ideas on what to do in your next phase. Okay. Your second step would be to decide what you want to happen next. So like, let's say I want to sell products on my website. The best way to do that would be to sync your product catalog with the catalog sales, sell products. But the easiest way to do that would be without trying to set up like this huge campaign of all of your products. The easiest way to kind of do this would be a simple conversion campaign. So a conversion campaign is essentially a goal that you've set for your business. So let's say that I have a lead generation, not to be confused with this lead generation. You don't want to use this lead generation because this is Facebook leads, which is different from your own website's lead generation. Facebook leads is a type of ad where they can actually give their lead information on Facebook itself. And it works kind of okay, but from everything that I've read and from all the different tests people have done, it does not work as good as landing page leads. The quality is not there. It's just too much volume to get any sort of they're not sanitized leads, essentially. They're not people that are like really interested in your business. They're just people that were on Facebook and are like, oh cool, I'll get the free whatever this is, download it. They don't have any connection with your business. They didn't go to your website, Anyway, traffic ads, if you run these, let's say you had a blog post that you were sharing. This is a great opportunity to run a traffic campaign. So we're just going to do traffic. We don't need a split test. We don't need any let's do campaign budget optimization. First thing about budget optimization is yes, you should use this. The reason you should use this is so that it makes it easier for organization later. Think of it this way. Your campaign is like your long-term goal. It's like we have a campaign called, we're going to try to get traffic to our website. And we're going to create a bunch of different ads within that, like ad copies, pictures. We're going to try a bunch of different things, but they're all within the same campaign. So campaign budget optimization basically means the budget doesn't change. You know, we're going to try a bunch of different stuff. We're going to create a bunch of different split tests. We're going to create a bunch of different testing things, but our budget remains the same. So let's say you started out with a budget of $10 a day, you know, something really low. And you're just like, all right, lowest cost. Yeah, just obviously you want the lowest cost. You know, you can just delivery standard. You don't need to do accelerated. You don't even have that option. But accelerated is essentially saying to Facebook, spend my money as fast as possible. That would be like if a company was releasing a trailer for a movie, and it would be like if they were releasing a trailer for some new Marvel movie and they forgot to advertise for the trailer, like, you know, months ago. And so they're like, oh crap, we only have 2 days to advertise this, so we need to spend all of our advertising budget really quickly. That would be what that's for. All right, so you create it. We're gonna choose, let's see, what do we want? Dynamic creative, you don't need to get into that until you're pretty experienced. Dynamic creative is awesome. It's a way for Facebook to test. It's like the old traditional way of trying out new ads was a split test. Dynamic creative makes it to where you can do 10 split tests at once, and it tries out everything, and it says, will this work? Will this work? Let's try this copy with this picture. Let's try this headline. Let's try this call to action button with this one. And it'll find the best results for you. The one thing I'll say about that, though, is it's kind of misleading. Well, it's not misleading. It does exactly what it says it's going to do, but you also have to know that because you're introducing variables to Facebook, it's going to take way longer to see the results you want to see. Every Facebook ad is kind of like a snowball. So when it first starts, it's really small, and your results are kind of like, cool, awesome. Yeah, I paid $10 for one click, you know. You're going to get results like that. But then as it starts rolling, you're like, whoa, wow, I'm getting $1 per newsletter sign up, or whatever, you know, whatever your desired thing is. So dynamic creative, because there's so many variables, each variable has to ramp up. So I mean, think about that for a second. If you do 10 different images and 10 different copies, that means they all have to go together. So it's not just 10 times 10. It's like they're going to try so many different things together to get it to work. And, you know, they're not going to try literally every variation. You know, they might be able to just deduce like, oh, okay, this image not going to work for anything. So they don't have to try every variation. But since they're trying a lot more variations than what we're used to, your snowball effect is going to take a lot longer. So that's why I wouldn't recommend it on budgets lower than, some people say $50, but I would say even $50 is kind of, you'd have to let it run for like 2 weeks before you saw like, you know, results like you want. But, you know, I would just say make sure your budget coincides with that goal. Okay, so we're doing a traffic ad. So we don't know anything about anything. So you could try to do some things here. Like you can see I've already done things like web visitors, things like that. But, you know, if you don't know much about your business and this is your first ad, I would say just put in what you do know. So if you sell women's dresses, you can go ahead and just do women, right? Things like that. Things that are like, you know, you're not going to target to those people. Don't get into interest targeting, you know, on the first one, because again, like I said, you don't know that. You don't know what people are You don't have a way of knowing what someone is gonna like. You know, the whole idea with interest targeting is like, let's say with my digital marketing stuff, like I want to target people who like digital marketing. And it's like, yeah, that's an interest that has 79 million people. Okay, but what does that even mean? Like, cool, I've narrowed it down to 3 million people that like digital marketing, but I don't even know what Facebook means with that interest. They used to have it, and I can't seem to find it, but like sometimes you can, like let's say you had like MailChimp. You wanted to target people who liked MailChimp. You know, they used to have a lot more on here. They used to have like pretty much every page you could target your competitors, but they don't have that anymore. They've since, a lot of competitors have kind of made it to where you can't target their audience, which makes sense. I mean, why would you want your competitors using your information that you work so hard for? But since you don't know very much in this initial phase, it's best to keep it kind of simple. Obviously, United States, you don't want to, you know, but we're just using this as a way to get link clicks to our website. So you would just say, yep, that's what I want, link clicks. And then you get into your copy. So in this case, since we said, you know, we can create an ad, of course, or what I was saying before was like, yeah, you shouldn't boost a post. This is much better because you have much more power on what you're going to do. So let's say we use our Interworks digital page. We're going to use an existing post because that's the whole thing. You know, we were like, let's not boost a post. Let's select a post. So which post? Here's a non-controversial post that doesn't have Facebook's logo in it, because if they have, if you have a picture with their logo in it, it makes it not want to work. So here's this post. It's all just there, and as you can see, it has the comments from people from my page, which is good because, like, just the other day we had a client who had customers who commented about the specific product that they used and said, yeah, we like this product. It's like, obviously that helps your brand recognition. It helps it helps you a lot. Joseph Holder's Pixel. Don't worry about offline event set just yet. That's pretty detailed. So anyway, you want to make sure you have your pixel set up. We're going to do a video on that soon. But anyway, all this to say, you should do this instead of a boosted post. This works much better. So what this gives you the power to do then is it gives you the power to get traffic to your website. So people can visit your site. You can then take that information and use it for more detailed targeting. So let's say you had, about like 10,000 visitors from Facebook, or you had a specific page that you really wanted people to visit. So like people who look at you had a restaurant and you're trying to get people to your menu. If people read your menu, odds are they're gonna be interested in going to your restaurant. They're considering it. So because they've looked at your menu. So out of your 10,000 visitors, that translates to probably $10,000 of ad spend. But let's say out of your 10,000 visitors, 1,000 clicked on the menu, then that information can be used to create a lookalike audience, which is the whole power of Facebook. It's the whole goal of Facebook, is to get as much information about people as you can so you can get in front of the right people. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, they know everything about everybody. So yeah, you can get your ad in front of tons of people, and you can try to target them based on interest or whatever. But you don't know what you're targeting. You don't know how well it's going to work. So you have to try a bunch of different things. But one thing that is consistently works is the lookalike audience function. You just have to get it to work properly. Lookalike audiences, before you start trying to do that, before you start trying to build one, make sure you have your Facebook pixel set up. If your Facebook pixel set up, then it can start to gather traffic. That's all you got to do for now. With that information, you're loading up a bank of information that you can then draw from. Then you can create a lookalike audience based on that. So like if I were to go back to my audience part, and rather than targeting through this stuff, I could go, let's create a new audience. So create new lookalike. So what do I have here? Lookalike source. First, you want to create a custom audience, and this audience is going to be small. But like, let's go to this and say Joseph Holders Pixel, all website visitors past 30 days, or people who've visited my specific page, which is my contact page. And then you want to name it contact audience, right? So you create the audience, and then you're like, all right, let's find people that are similar. So lookalike. So the contact audience is our source, and we want it to be in the US, and we just want 1, and we want it to be 1%. The reason you choose 1% is because it tells Facebook that I don't want you to just pick anyone. I don't want you to pick 10% of the US population. That's insane. That's like such a huge audience that it's going to be indistinguishable from just running your ads with no audience selection. But if you do 1%, which is 2.2 million, you're telling Facebook only pick 2.2 million people in the US who look the most like my contact audience. So that means if guys who have red hair and don't have beards and like the color purple liked MailChimp, if they went to my contact page, then that means Facebook's going to try to find more people who have red hair, who don't have beards, who like the color purple, right? That's the whole idea. And there's so many metrics that they have that people don't know that they have, and it's really creepy to a lot of people. But it's something that, as an advertiser on Facebook, if you're going to use their platform, you have to use these tools. Otherwise, it's not going to work at all. And you're going to end up spending 10 times, 20 times what your competitors are spending. So you want as much information as possible about the people that you're putting your ad in front of. So think about it in the past. So in the past, your options for advertising were like, you could put up a newspaper ad, you could put in a magazine ad, you could do a billboard, right? Billboards were probably the cheapest way, right? Because you put your ad in front of such a broad audience. Like lawyers use billboards a lot, right? Because lawyers don't really care. They're just like, we want to spend a ton of money on advertising because we have to be their number one person in their mind, like for what they want. So they're going to spend as much money as possible, and they're going to be everywhere because they have such a fierce competition. But for normal people, like let's say you were trying to sell water bottles. If you're trying to sell water bottles, you're not going to put an ad on the freeway and hope that people see it and buy your water bottle. And it's like, that's really hard to track. However, so if you're like, instead, we're going to target based on interest. So we're going to put our ad inside of this magazine called Outdoors Magazine. That's the same kind of thing you're doing here with this lookalike audience. You're telling Facebook, I want to put my ad in front of these specific people. And as you can see, yes, my reach is going to be less than 10 per day. And that's because my audience has nobody in it. I haven't run my pixel for nearly long enough to have information. You need to make sure that your pixel, leave it running all the time. When you do your sharing, it even works when you share posts. It works throughout everything you do, even if you don't pay. You need to collect data. You cannot create a lookalike audience that is effective with less than 1,000 users. So that means if you have a MailChimp list of 1,000, that works. You can create a lookalike based on that, which is even better than anything we've talked about here. If you have a customer list of less than 1,000, don't use it. I know it might seem like that's really an ideal customer because it is your ideal customers, but it's not going to work. Facebook doesn't have nearly enough information. There's so much that can go wrong with that. It's like Facebook does not know very much to like when it has less than 1,000 people. It's just like trying to figure out what they all have in common, but there's not enough data there to even know what they have in common. You know, think about how common your customers are, but then think about how from different backgrounds they come. You know, a lot of stores out there sell to a variety of people, so it's nearly impossible to target to if you don't have enough data, you know. So that's all I want to say about this. We have a campaign going with a customized conversion action that we require. So like I was telling you before, you should never run an ad for no reason. You should always have a reason behind it. And you should always have a desired result. And try to figure out what the cost is to get that result. If you're just trying to get, like that's the whole thing, that's why I don't want you to do a boosted post, is because there is no goal. It's just saying, here, Facebook, take $50, make me feel good about myself, make me feel like, you know, my campaigns are doing something, make me feel like my posts are reaching people, right? But the value of that is you don't know. You know, real advertisement is tied directly to profit. And so in this campaign in particular, we have it's a product conversion campaign. It's only been running for a few days, but we've already gotten 16 adds to cart, which does not mean a purchase. It just means they added it to the cart. These are all metrics that you could target to. So these are all things that are set up with the Facebook Pixel. You can see here, there's a lot of things here. Website content views. Content views doesn't mean anything. It means they went to your website, which it's better to send it to a lookalikes of website visitors than nothing. But, all right. Anyway, my camera ran out of battery, so I'm just going to continue this on my built-in microphone on my computer. But what I was basically going to say is like, talking about this website content views, it's like, yeah, it's better to have website content views than nothing. It's better to send your ads to people that have gone to your website or lookalike of those people. However, it doesn't really tell you that much information about the desired user. What you'll realize is if you run a lot of campaigns, you're going to get so many people going to your website that are not your ideal customer at all. So ads to cart, however, if you had 1,000 ads to cart, that's something. Now that tells you something. That means they were actually interested in purchasing. So there's a lot of different things like that you just, you know, you need to use so that you can target. So next time you think about boosting a post on your Facebook page, next time Facebook tries to tell you to boost a post, you should tell them no. You should just say, I would like to run my own ad. I'd like to have the control I need. I'd like to actually have targeting options, and you should just run your own ad rather than just handing them money. If you need help with any of this stuff, you can check out my site, and we will be releasing more videos talking about the Facebook Pixel and how to use everything. I hope this can be helpful to someone, just because I know getting to Facebook, we've spent thousands of dollars of client money doing different experiments, and I just know that if you start trying to do this for your own business or for someone else, you need to learn the basics before doing it. Otherwise, you're just gonna like give them tons and tons of money. So anyway, all that being said, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you can take this information and help your clients profit. I hope that you can profit off of it. Have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you.